How you guys doing today?
We're doing
We're
great.
good.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I love the show. I'm so excited to talk to you guys, the detectives themselves. George, this really being your first big project on something as big as Netflix, did you look to Jayden for any advice on any of that, where he's been on some of these big streamers before?
All the time, all the time. Especially when we were filming the pilot. Some days felt really quite overwhelming, to be honest with you, because being on screen isn't completely the same as being on stage, obviously. So yeah, I felt really shielded by the pair of them. I'm really, really lucky that I got to experience this with them and have them help show me the ropes, really.
But also, let's do not take credit away from George. Even though it was his first show, I learned so much from him also. And yeah, it's kind of a dynamic duo.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and you couldn't tell, George, you're incredible. And Jayden, we see in the show that Charles is the brawn and Edwin is the brains. Does that check out in real life?
I mean, I'm semi-brawn. Let's just say that.
No, no, no. Don't get on the wrong side of him. I'll tell you that now, Steve.
Don't say this. Start throwing the chairs. I think that is kind of the way it plays out in real life, in the sense that George is smart and he kind of takes the lead on most things when it comes to planning and stuff, and I just kind of plod along. And...
Listen, I give him a hard time. Jayden is very, very smart. Very, very smart.
First time in 2 days.
I don't want to be cancelled.
People are gonna be like, do these two actually like each other?
No, you both have a great mix of both. So it's cool that you guys have that kind of chemistry too on screen with that blend and doing those characters really well. And George, when Edwin in episode 7 confesses his love to Charles, but is, kind of rejected, like best friend zoned, I would say. What in your mind stopped Edwin from just leaving Charles altogether right there, like just getting away from that?
As in, once he's been best friend zoned?
Yeah, like just being hurt by it.
I I don't think he is hurt by it. If I'm honest, I think he's actually grateful for Charles's response in that moment. And then, because also immediately after, that spider is onto them. So it is flight or... Actually, it's not even fight or flight. It's flight.
Literally, stakes could not be higher at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But I absolutely love that scene. It's that is the crescendo of Edwin's entire character journey. And, do you know what, Steve? I love the phrase best friend zone, but I don't think it's been fully tied up,
Interesting. So from Jayden, I'm going to ask you from your perspective on that moment, do you think deep down there is some feelings there, and maybe why would you say he's blocking them if there is?
Well, I mean, if we stick to the story, I mean, he literally goes and risks his life for his best friend. He literally says to him when Edwin confesses his feelings, he says, I'm not sure kind of what all this is right now, but I know that there's nobody else that I would go to hell for. And I honestly don't think he friend zones him at all. I kind of echo what George says in that sense. I really feel as though it's a scene of, two boys who have been best friends for 30 years, who have these inner demons that they've never kind of explored. And in that moment, when the stakes are that high, it all kind of, comes out. And I really think that the way Steve wrote that whole scene was beautiful, because I think it puts across the message to people maybe who have been in Edwin's shoes, where you come out to like your friends or your family. I think it kind of promotes the message of don't be afraid to tell people how you feel. And instantly after that scene, you see them on the rooftop talking, and he says, Charles, I just want to say that if my confession, and before he can even finish that sentence, Charles is like, no, like it didn't at all, and it's back to exactly the way they were. I think they actually have become better friends from that whole scenario.
Yeah, that's an incredible answer, and it makes me wonder, people I think that have friend zoned me, to maybe check that. Maybe I was wrong on that. But no, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. Everybody watch Dead Boy Detectives. It's on Netflix now. Just keep watching it so we get a season 2. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope to talk to you in the future.
Thanks for having
Thank you,
us. Thank
Steve.
you, everyone.